Have you ever felt like your energy is fading faster than it used to? Like your mind starts the day with a bit of fog that never quite lifts? You walk into a room and suddenly can't remember why. Or maybe you sit down to read, but after a few pages, your focus just disappears. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And no, it's not just getting older. There are some very real, very fixable reasons this is happening. See, after 65, our bodies and brains start to operate a little differently. That doesn't mean we're destined for decline. It just means we have to be a bit more mindful of how we treat ourselves each day. The truth is, many people over 65 are unknowingly making small daily mistakes that slowly chip away at their mental clarity and energy. Little habits that seem harmless, but over time, leave you feeling drained, forgetful, or just not quite like yourself. The good news? You can absolutely change that. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 common mistakes that many people over 65 make every single day, mistakes that drain your mental energy without you even realizing it. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to fix them, simply and gently, so your mind feels clearer and more alive. Like yourself again. Let's start with one of the biggest culprits, and it might surprise you. It's how your mornings begin. Now, I want you to think about your morning today. Did you wake up slowly, maybe with the TV already buzzing in the background? Did you check your phone or scroll through news right away? Maybe you skipped breakfast or had a quick bite while distracted. It might not seem like a big deal, but how you start your day can set the tone for your entire brain's energy levels. Here's the thing, your brain needs peace and nourishment in the morning. It's just woken up from a long night of rest and repair, and when you flood it with noise, stress, or multitasking right away, it doesn't get a chance to boot up properly. Imagine turning on a computer and immediately opening 10 programs at once. Of course it's going to lag. A chaotic or overstimulating morning drains your mental energy before you even get going. And unfortunately, a lot of folks fall into this habit without meaning to. They turn on the news first thing, which often floods the mind with negativity and anxiety. Or they reach for their phones and get lost in endless scrolling, which floods the brain with information before it's ready to process it. So, what's the fix? Try this tomorrow. Give yourself 15 to 30 minutes of calm in the morning before letting in any screens or distractions. Just sit by the window with a cup of tea or coffee. Breathe. Stretch a little. Let your mind wake up gently, not jolted. And when you do eat breakfast, try something with a little protein, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a handful of nuts. Your brain thrives on healthy fats and proteins to stay sharp. You'll be amazed at the difference a quiet, intentional morning can make. It's like giving your brain a full tank of gas instead of running on fumes all day. Now, let's talk about the second mistake, something that sounds harmless, even productive, but it's actually sneaky, constant multitasking. Now, I get it. We've been raised to think that staying busy is a virtue. Many of us grew up juggling jobs, raising families, managing homes. Multitasking was a survival skill. But after 65, the brain doesn't benefit from doing 5 things at once like it used to. In fact, it suffers. Here's why. Every time you switch between tasks, whether it's answering a call while writing a grocery list or watching TV while paying bills, your brain has to refocus, even if just for a second. It's like hitting a little speed bump. And when you're doing this all day long, it's no wonder you feel mentally worn out by noon. You might notice that you start something, then forget where you left off. Or you feel overwhelmed, even though you haven't done anything particularly strenuous. That's mental fatigue. It's not about age, it's about energy management. So how can we fix it? It's actually very simple. Try doing one thing at a time. I know that sounds too easy to be true, but it works. When you sit down to read the mail, just read the mail. When you're cooking, just cook. Don't have the TV blaring in the background or try to answer texts in between stirring the pot. And here's a little tip that works wonders: use a notepad. Keep it nearby so that when you're in the middle of doing something and a thought pops into your head, like, oh, I need to call Jane later, you don't have to stop what you're doing to go make the call. Just jot it down. Finish the task you're on, then move to the next. This keeps your brain focused, reduces mental clutter, and actually gives you more energy over the course of the day. It may feel strange at first, especially if you're used to doing multiple things at once. But give it a few days. Your brain will thank you for the calm. You'll feel more grounded, more productive, and less scattered. So, we've talked about how chaotic mornings and constant multitasking can drain your mind without you realizing it. These are habits that sneak in quietly, but they make a big impact on how we feel. Now that we've covered these two important energy drainers, let's move into something else that affects the mind just as much, something that might be hiding in your daily routine, even though it seems like no big deal at all. Something that might be hiding in your daily routine, even though it seems like no big deal at all, and that's sitting too much. Now, don't get me wrong. Rest is important, especially as we get older. You've earned it. But there's a difference between resting and staying still for long stretches of time every day. What many people don't realize is that long periods of sitting, whether it's watching TV, reading, or even just relaxing in your favorite chair, can quietly steal your mental energy. Think of your body like a river. When it's moving, everything flows: oxygen, blood, nutrients, even your thoughts. But when you sit for too long, things start to slow down. Blood doesn't circulate as well to your brain. That foggy feeling? That sluggish thinking? It often comes from the body being too still, too often. And it's not about doing a full workout or hitting the gym. You don't need to power walk around the neighborhood or lift weights unless you want to. What your brain really needs is gentle, consistent movement throughout the day. That's what keeps the energy flowing and your mind alert. So how do you fix it without turning your day upside down? Here's a little trick: set a timer, not a loud, annoying one, just something soft, every hour or so. When it goes off, stand up. Stretch your arms above your head. Walk to the kitchen and back. Do a little lap around the living room. You don't even have to leave the house. Just 2 or 3 minutes of light movement can make a world of difference for your brain. And if you enjoy music, even better, put on your favorite oldies and move to the rhythm. Dance around like no one's watching. Because really, no one is, and even if they were, they'd probably want to join you. Movement doesn't have to be boring, it can be joyful. And joy, by the way, is a mental energizer all on its own. The key is to break up those long-sitting spells. Your body wakes up, your blood starts flowing, and your mind perks up too. It's like opening the windows and letting a breeze in. So the next time you find yourself sitting for a while, ask yourself, when was the last time I moved? Just a few minutes can reboot your mental clarity. Now let's talk about another sneaky habit that drains mental energy, and this one might not be as obvious: not talking to enough people. Now, I'm not talking about big, noisy crowds or making small talk with strangers at the grocery store. I mean real, meaningful connection, even just for a few minutes a day. As we get older, it's easy to fall into quieter routines. Kids grow up, friends move away, or we simply get used to our own company. And while solitude can be peaceful, too much of it, especially when it becomes isolation, can wear on the mind. Humans are wired for connection. Conversation, laughter, sharing stories, even just hearing someone else's voice, these are like vitamins for the brain. They stimulate areas involved in memory, attention, and mood. Without that stimulation, the mind can start to feel dull, like a radio with the volume turned down too low. You might not even realize it's happening. Maybe you've gone a few days without a good chat. Maybe you've gotten used to not picking up the phone because, well, no one's calling. But connection doesn't have to be complicated or take hours out of your day. Even a 5-minute phone call with a friend or family member can lift your spirits and sharpen your thinking. If you don't feel like talking on the phone, how about a quick chat with a neighbor? Or saying hello to someone when you're out for a walk? And if you're more introverted, that's okay. Writing a letter, sending a voice message, or even talking to your pet can light up the same emotional and mental circuits. And if you feel like your circle has gotten smaller, you're not alone, and it's never too late to expand it. A local community center, a book club, or even a small group at your place of worship can offer the kind of connection that keeps your mind bright. You don't have to see people every day, but making an effort to stay connected in some way, even just a little, can keep your mental energy much higher than you'd expect. Because when we talk, when we laugh, when we share, that's when we feel most alive. And a mind that feels alive doesn't get stuck in the fog. It stays sharp, focused, and more at peace. So far, we've touched on some really powerful but often overlooked energy drainers: chaotic mornings, multitasking, sitting too much, and lack of connection. These may seem like small things, but they build up. They add layers of fatigue and forgetfulness we chalk up to age, but really, they're habits we can gently shift. And the best part is, you don't have to overhaul your life to feel better. Just a few small, mindful changes can bring your energy and clarity back in ways that truly surprise you. Let's keep going, because there's still one more daily habit that many people over 65 struggle with, and it plays a huge role in how your mind feels every single day. I'm talking about sleep, or more accurately, poor sleep habits that we don't even realize are draining our mental energy. Now, sleep can be a tricky thing after 65. Maybe you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night more often. Or you wake up early and can't fall back asleep. Sometimes it feels like even when you do sleep, you wake up feeling tired anyway, like your brain never fully recharged. The truth is, as we age, our sleep patterns naturally change. But that doesn't mean you have to settle for restless nights or groggy mornings. What's important to understand is that quality sleep is one of the most powerful tools you have to restore mental energy. Without it, your mind simply can't perform at its best. Memory suffers. Focus drifts. Even your mood can take a hit. One of the biggest mistakes many people make is not giving themselves enough time to wind down before bed. We often think of sleep as a switch: one moment we're up, the next we're supposed to be asleep. But your brain doesn't work like that. It needs time to slow down, to shift into rest mode. If you're watching TV or scrolling through your phone right up until the lights go off, your brain is still buzzing with stimulation. And that makes it a lot harder to fall into deep, restful sleep. Instead, try creating a little evening ritual. Nothing fancy. Just 20 or 30 minutes of calm before bed. Maybe you dim the lights, make a cup of chamomile tea, and read something light, not the news, not anything stressful. Or you listen to soft music, do a bit of stretching, or even just sit quietly and reflect on your day. It's about sending your brain a clear signal: it's time to rest. And here's another thing: your bedroom matters more than you might think. If there's a clock blowing bright numbers all night, or your room isn't dark enough, or it's a little too warm, those small things can interrupt your sleep cycle without you even waking up fully. So take a look around tonight. Make sure your space is cool, dark, and quiet. Think of it like preparing a nest. You want it to feel peaceful and safe. Now, if you're waking up during the night, and most of us do at some point, try not to stress about it. Worrying about being awake can actually keep you awake longer. Instead, just take a few deep breaths, relax your body, and let yourself be still. Sometimes, letting go of the pressure to fall asleep now is exactly what helps you drift off again. And if sleep continues to be a challenge, don't be afraid to talk to your doctor. There might be something simple they can suggest to help, or even identify a reason behind your restlessness. The important thing is, don't ignore it. Good sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's about protecting your brain for the long haul. So when you think about all of these little daily habits, chaotic mornings, multitasking, too much sitting, not enough connection, and poor sleep, they might not seem like much on their own. But together, they can slowly chip away at your clarity, your energy, and even your joy. The beautiful part is that each one is fixable. Not with huge effort or big changes, but with gentle, mindful steps. Maybe you start tomorrow by waking up a little slower, with a quiet moment to yourself before turning on any screens. Maybe you stand up a few more times during the day, just to stretch and get your blood flowing. Maybe you give someone a call you haven't spoken to in a while. Or maybe tonight, you set aside a little time to wind down, just for you. Each of these small shifts feeds your mind in a different way. They help you feel more grounded, more alert, and more in control of your energy. And that's not just important, it's empowering. Because no matter your age, you deserve to feel mentally strong, clear, and alive. And if you're watching this and thinking, I've been doing some of these things for years, don't feel bad. That's part of being human. What matters most is that you're here now, listening, learning, and ready to take care of your mind in a new way. And that takes real strength. So let today be the day you choose clarity over chaos, simplicity over overwhelm, peace over pressure. Because your mind still has so much to offer. Your experiences, your stories, your wisdom, those things are gold. And when your brain feels its best, you get to enjoy them more fully. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What changes are you thinking about making? Do any of these habits sound familiar to you? Let me know in the comments. I really do read them, and it helps others feel less alone too. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more simple, supportive ways to feel your best after 60. We're building a beautiful community here, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Until next time, take good care of yourself, be kind to your mind, and remember, your best days aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting for you to enjoy them. Here's to living your fullest, brightest life at any age.